On today's episode, we are talking ideal agent and if you can really sell your home for 2%. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up, everyone? Aaron here. Thanks for coming by and either watching or listening to another episode. And like I said, today we're talking ideal agent. Now, they are nationwide, so wherever you're watching this or listening to this from, you probably have seen their commercials in your area. And their whole thing is on their main page here. They say they'll sell your home for top dollar with top local agents for as little as 2% commission, which is kind of a bait and switch in my opinion. And we're going to dive into this a little bit and really talk about what's going on here and how your local realtor probably does the same thing already. Now, I don't know about everywhere else, but in Connecticut, commissions are not set by the state. They are completely negotiable between the seller and the real estate agent. So that being said, of course, people, when they sell their homes, want to be able to save as much money as they can on listing their home. Now, some might do an entry-only listing where they pay the real estate agent maybe $400 or $500 to submit everything onto the MLS, and then they field all the calls. They, being the homeowner, fields all the phone calls, all the showings, everything like that. Kind of like a for sale by owner, except that it's actually being submitted to the MLS. So you'll see entry only on there normally, and it'll say call the homeowner. Now, that's one way to save on commission. Some people just sell it outright on their own and they don't even talk to a realtor except for maybe kind of getting a value of the property. But a lot of people, I think, are attracted to this because of the 2% commission. Now, again, to me, it's a bait and switch, the old fashioned bait and switch. And I don't know. I don't think it's a great deal. Their commercials are convincing, but when you look under the hood, so to speak, you get to see a few things. So now, I'm not going to go into exactly what I charge for clients when I work with them, when I'm helping them sell their home or buy a home or anything like that. If you want to know how I work and what I do, feel free to reach out to me. All my information is down below. I'll answer any questions you have over a cup of coffee or Zoom or what have you. So that being said, if you are looking at ideal agent and you go to their website looks pretty nice. I'm going to try to put it up right here for you so you can take a look at the screen. And basically you see that there is, the guy who's on TV, you enter in your address to find an agent. And what that does is that kind of gets you into their system. So once you enter in your address, you're probably going to get a few phone calls from a few different agents. If anybody has looked on Zillow and liked the house or anything like that, you've probably gotten phone calls from random realtors saying, hey, I saw you were checking out this house. Anyways, it tells you right there that there's a 2% commission. Now, once you go through everything and it tells you that it's simple and it's fast and it's working with the top 1% of full service providers in your area that have a 5-star service, there's a little slider, figure out how much you would save. So that being said, excuse me, my allergies are killing me today. That being said, once you dive in a little bit more, you'll see that they say our agents will list for 2% and offer the typical buyer agent commission in your market ranging from 2% to 3%. So right there, you are no longer selling your home for 2%. You are now selling it for either 4 or 5%.
Today's episode, bait and switch.
Again, bait and switch to get you in the door to start putting your information in when you should probably just talk to a local realtor or a few local realtors to kind of see what they offer and what they charge. Then it goes into saying that the average buyer's agent commission nationwide is 2.5%. If a buyer calls on your house directly without an agent, our agents have agreed to do the entire transaction for only 2% total. Now, I'm going to be the first one to tell you how many houses I've sold where I've represented both sides. A big fat goose egg. 0. It happens. It just doesn't happen a lot. So again, they're saying, well, if you bring in the the buyer and it's not another agent, so one person comes in that's unrepresented and the agent works both sides, well, one, that's got to be allowed in your area, the dual representation, and then they will sell it for a 2%. Why? Because they don't have to offer the other side anything. Right. And then it goes on to say homes under 150K or 150,000 will have a minimum list side commission of 3,000. So there's I'll just say I don't like it. I think it's not being transparent. I think it's misleading to the consumer to say we will sell your house for 2%, but then, oh, yes, we'll sell it, but you also have to offer the buying agent something, right? So it's not like they're listing it for 2% and each side's getting 1%. What they're saying is, well, we'll sell it for 2%, but then you got to give another 2% up to 3% to the buying agent who brings in the buyer. And only if we represent both sides of the transaction will you pay 2%. See, it's just, I don't like it. I think this is what gives real estate a bad name, so to speak, because we do stupid things like this. Just say, hey, listen, you want to sell your house? We're going to charge you 5%. 2% is on our end, 3% to the buy side, or vice versa, however you're going to do it. Or, hey, we're going to list you for 4%. So they're trying to compete with the discount brokers, which are just that, discount brokers. So if you go down that route, God bless you, because you're going to get a sign in the yard, you might get an open house, and it'll get thrown up on the MLS, and that's about it. And you're going to pay probably about 4%. Now, granted, in today's market, because there is zero inventory, prices are starting to still climb, there's still a large buyer pool, you could probably get away with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you the truth. If you do a 4% listing with somebody, you're probably gonna sell it pretty quick anyway. So, going with a discounted broker is probably okay. You'll get mediocre photos. Hopefully they don't take them with their cell phone. Granted, cell phone photos are great, but they have their place, and that's on Instagram. You've heard me say that before, or Facebook. It's for being social, not MLS listings. So, I guess just be careful with when you see deals like this. Again, that too good to be true, it is. So, talk to other agents in your area. Talk to 2 or 3 agents if you have to, if you're thinking of selling. Don't go with just the first one. Don't go with the one that your cousin twice removed used 15 years ago to buy his house. If you have somebody that you're a close friend with and they recently sold their house and they say, my agent was great, good, talk to that person. Preferably, I'd like it to be me. I love listing homes and selling them and doing the photos and the drone shots and the videos and all that fun stuff. But again, you want to talk to a couple people because your personality may not, one, fit the personality of that realtor, and you guys might clash, or they might be very hands-off where they meet with you, they sign the documents, you maybe see them again at closing, and that's it. So those are some of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're meeting with a few people. You want somebody that's going to be hands-on, that's going to be active. And I tell my clients, listen, unless if you don't hear from me, everything's going really good. I will give you periodic updates, but this market's moving so fast, you really don't have time to do that unless there's a major issue. And then I'll be reaching out and saying, hey, we need to sit down and talk about this, whether it's a bad septic, your neighbor's fence is 2 feet over on your property, whatever it might be, we'll work those things out. But again, my whole point was this ideal agent, because every morning when I'm drinking my coffee after getting the kids off to school, I'm getting caught up on the local news, seeing what the weather's going to be for the week, if we're going to head over to Rhode Island and go to the beach or anything. I see these commercials come up and it drives me nuts that people see this and all they see is that 2% and they're like, yes, I'm going to sell my house for 2%. When in reality, you're still going to be selling it for 5%, just like you would if you just called another realtor in your area. However, if you want to get called by a bunch of random realtors or a bunch of service centers calling you to set up appointments to meet with realtors in your area, definitely put in your information here because that's what's going to happen. But again, I just want everybody to understand when you're doing something like Ideal Agent or some of these other companies that are out there, really look at the fine print, because you might start getting into a contract working with an agent and then all of a sudden you see on your contract 5%. You're like, whoa, I thought I was selling it for 2%. And they're like, yeah, you're selling it for 2%, but you're giving 3% to the buyer's agent, and that's where the 5 comes in. So just keep that in mind. I didn't want this video to go too long today because there's really not much under the hood here once you look at the numbers and how they're doing things. It's a lot of play on words, so to speak, but hopefully this has opened your eyes to what's out there. Do yourself a favor, talk to a local realtor, preferably this guy, if possible, if you're in the area. And if not, definitely look for one in your local area and ask for recommendations. That's always a good way to go too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.